Good morning, everyone. So from the 2nd of May to the 19th of May, I was in Korea, mainly in Chonpyeong for most of that time. I actually want to give a sermon about it at a later date because there was quite a lot that I experienced, and I feel I can't really express it adequately in 5 or 10 minutes, but I can share some things with you now. I want to start by talking about the temple, the opening of the temple. If you were present or if you tuned into a recent Sunday service, you would have seen that I actually offered a song. I was in Chonpyeong at the time, but I recorded it and sent it and offered the song to the community as part of the service. And the song was called "This House Is Yours." And the song I wrote in April, exploring or kind of talking about the idea of myself being a temple that God is living inside of, or a house that God is living inside. And there's a link somewhere. You can listen to that song if you want. You can just talk to me afterwards. But when I wrote that song, I wasn't necessarily thinking about the temple, but afterwards realizing how relevant it was, the idea of, I'm a house that God is living in, I'm a temple that God is living in. And thinking more about the opening of the temple, which was quite difficult to understand at first. Why do we need another building, this and that? What does this really do for us? And kind of all of these questions. But thinking about it more and also reading from what True Mother was saying and what other people were saying, came to understand it a bit more. And my understanding became that this new temple represents me. And I felt that, seeing this temple opening is like it's like God is opening me. Like I've become this temple, I'm being unveiled kind of as this grand temple which people can visit and people can enjoy. And I felt that, yes, the actual ceremony was great and the place is beautiful for sure. But I felt that the important part is that after leaving, that I remain a temple, that temple becomes me. I suppose maybe people have different understandings of this temple, but that was how I resonated with it. So that was one of the main reasons that I visited Chonpyeong, was to see this opening of this temple. Something else I felt that this trip confirmed to me was, or rather something that I was confirming with God, was the seriousness of my faith, or like this is my life and I'm being serious about my life of faith. And so I'm visiting Chonpyeong, which I've heard about my whole life, but I've never visited before. This was my first time there. And so it almost felt like me telling God, I'm making this step, I'm traveling to the other side of the world. I don't have that much left in my bank account. But the fact of the matter is I had the means to go. God gave me the means to go. And I felt, God is providing my needs, and God was showing me, hey, like, you can go and you can meet me there. So that also felt quite significant about this trip, almost like a coming of age. I'm 20 and I'm turning 21 this year, and that kind of feels like a significant turning point in my life, entering my 20s. And I feel as though this is like a significant milestone in my life, and almost like I'm starting a new chapter after this trip. And I felt incredibly grateful just to be able to go. I think a few months ago, maybe half a year ago, I thought it would be nice if I could go, but it's probably not possible, or it's not going to happen. And then one thing led to another, and almost without being completely conscious, like I don't remember a significant moment when I thought, yes, I'm going to Korea, but somehow things were encouraging me or moving me in a certain direction, and then suddenly I had bought the ticket and I was on the plane. Like it felt a bit like that. And so I realized, yeah, God was definitely guiding me through that. I don't know if I had sat and thought about it logically that I would have actually gone, basically. But yeah, I went, and there was a lot to learn and a lot to be confused by as well. But that was, yeah, it was a place that was facilitating my processing of thought, and I also did some kind of condition during my trip where I wasn't listening to music and I wasn't basically consuming YouTube or media or anything, and I also wasn't eating food with added sugar. I mean, I've kind of eaten quite healthily most of my life, but specifically in this time I was very strictly cutting out these things because I felt I want to be as present as possible without any distractions, because I know those things can all be distractions, but because of that condition I could focus quite purely on every moment and just kind of sit with how I was feeling, whether it was experiencing Chanyang or whether it was experiencing the prayer vigil at night, which was also pretty interesting. And I also feel that coming to Cheongbuk helped me understand True Parents better. Seeing the culture and understanding, okay, this is where True Parents grew up. Like, this is how they were raised. This is why they act the way they act. Or this is why they have maybe said certain things or operated in a certain way. And also seeing how the Korean members act versus like Western members. It was just super interesting. And I mean, it wasn't just Korean members. There were so many people from around the world. And I just felt so blessed to meet all these people. I felt actually if I had never come, I probably would have never met these people and I might never meet them again, basically. And one highlight, actually, which wasn't even planned, was that I managed to meet with my cousins from America, who I've never met in person in my life. My dad's older sister's children, two of them came to Korea to receive the blessing. So not only could I meet them for the first time, but I could also be there at the blessing to support them. Two of my cousins, it was just very special. Really like a melting pot of lucky experiences, like meeting my cousins and just many other things. That was really special. I'm very grateful for that. And I also could meet not my direct uncle, but the father of my cousins, who is kind of like, maybe you could say uncle-in-law or something. But yeah, I could also meet him, and having conversations with them just felt so like I was coming home, even though I was in Cheongbuk, because these people are connected to me. So that was, very special. Can someone give me like a 5-minute timing? Because I'm going completely off of my head right now. So just let me know when I need to stop. Something else that I was very grateful for was the pilgrimage. There was a 3-day pilgrimage which was arranged for the EUME members, and we traveled to different places across Korea which were significant. And on the first day we visited the Chonpadong Church, which was very moving for me, having read the autobiographies of mother and father and feeling just feeling a lot, walking through that building into different rooms, and this person was sleeping in this room, and this was father's prayer room, and this was your mother was in this room, or like, it was just, yeah, quite a lot. I felt very honoured to be there, and I was pretty much in tears the entire time. After going through the building, many of us took pictures in front with a sign on the building, and yeah, the picture of me, I'm smiling, but like I'm crying. So yeah, it was just very moving for me to be there, and could feel quite a spirit in there, like quite a strong, almost heavy spirit in there, and I can't help but think of the photo of mother standing there when she was maybe 18 or something, and thinking that I was standing exactly the same place. Yeah, it means a lot to me. So that was really special. We visited a few other places, but another place which I was so happy to visit was Gomun Island, which is off the south coast of South Korea. And there is, I think it's like a Center for Ocean Providence or something like that. There's a church there, and there's also Ocean Chonjonggung, which is, yeah, it's quite, when you see the building, you can only think that the church put it there, because it's this majestic, like, palace-looking building in the middle of like the mountains. It's very beautiful, and yeah, I wish I had prepared photos, but I only arrived on Friday, so that was kind of resting. But definitely when I give my sermon eventually, I can give some more detail. But yeah, so that was a really beautiful place. So the Ocean Chonjonggung was basically on the coast, like facing out to the sea. And yeah, I just can't describe how beautiful nature is there. Like, it's really, really, really just moving, and it's like something out of a dream. It's really so beautiful. And yeah, I had some time there by myself on the beach. We could explore, and there was like some freedom in the schedule for us to walk around. And yeah, I had some time on the beach to pray several times. I think it was maybe only one day that we were there. Had time to pray there several times, and I felt, yeah, looking at the nature, I was kind of reflecting and thinking, like, when you look at nature, it's very still, serene, unmoving, and it kind of, there's this resonating feeling of like just patience, like it's just waiting almost. That's the feeling I got. And I remember especially I was on the beach at night. It was like late evening when people were still hanging around the Ocean Chonjonggung, and there was going to be a later trip back to the motels. And yeah, I was on the beach and I was thinking, I've just seen this place in the day, and now it's nighttime, and you can't really see it very well in the dark. But the beauty is still there. It still exists. The beauty is still there, but it's just, there's no light, right? And I felt it was almost speaking to me and maybe representing my potential, or my ability to give to others, and almost like maybe I've been in a period of nighttime, but the beauty or my potential is still existing. But once the daylight hits, it's visible to everyone. And so, but that's almost like a conscious step that I need to take to give more to others, or give more of my beauty and my potential and my abilities to others, and for people to enjoy, because nature just exists. It's just there for us to enjoy. It doesn't hide itself away. That was kind of my feeling on Gomun Island. It's really such a beautiful place, and yeah, I just felt I have to go back there. I don't know when, but I have to go back to that place, because yeah, it's such a really beautiful place. So those are some small experiences, and following the pilgrimage, I stayed in Chongpyeong for maybe under a week more, and I joined the international team workshop. So I was joining the schedule and visiting the holy grounds and doing Hyundai K and all of this. And Yeah, it felt like the structure was necessary and good. That was my feeling, but there were also moments where, I don't know, maybe if this is controversial, but I broke out of the schedule to do other things that I felt were more important. For example, visiting the Holy Ground during Chanyang or something like that. And maybe, you know, people are saying, oh, like, you're going to go to hell or something. But I felt like God was providing the structure of this workshop to benefit me ultimately, but that God was trusting me to make my own decisions. God is saying, you know, like, as long as I'm respecting the schedule and I can actually feel a lot of value in a lot of these parts of the schedule, but actually sometimes God was calling me to visit the Tree of Hyojong instead of, I don't know, attending Hunter K or something. That's a discussion for another time, but that was kind of trying to briefly express that feeling, and yeah, I will stop there. Thank you for listening.